Simone Biles is an artistic gymnast from the United States. Biles is the most decorated American gymnast with a total of 30 Olympic and World Championship medals. She is widely regarded as one of the finest and most dominant female gymnasts of all time. Simone Biles has since become a household name, especially for those who love to watch gymnastics during the Olympic Games. In today's video, we are going to take a look at some of the most controversial moments in her gymnastics career so far. If that sounds interesting, then make sure to stick around till the end. But before we get into the video, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to the channel with notifications on so you don't miss any of the new videos we post. Your Chinko double pike. Simone Biles, the most decorated gymnast in history, became the first woman to accomplish the ultra-dangerous your Chinko double pike in competition just recently in May 2021 at the US Classic. It's a masterpiece of a move, with Biles having to launch off of the vaulting table with a round-off back handspring into two flips to a pike position. Most gymnasts wouldn't even dare practice it. You'd think Biles' accomplishment would be reason for celebration. Nope, the judges gave her a 6.6, which was way too low given the difficulty of the maneuver by any measure of everyone watching who wasn't a judge that night. I feel like now we just have to get what we get because there's no point in putting up a fight because they're not going to reward it, Biles told the New York Times, so we just have to take it and be quiet. Gymnasts are judged using a scoring system that takes into account the difficulty of the movements they accomplish. The Chinko double pike has a low starting score, which some believe is intended to deter gymnasts from attempting the risky exercise or to prevent a GOAT like Biles from winning gold. Or you could do both. It's just a pity that we may never see the all-time great athlete honored for something that may never be done in competition again. It's also the latest indicator that the Tokyo Summer Olympics will not treat its athletes fairly. Biles continued, "They're both too low and they even know it." Biles added of her scores in the Times interview, "But they don't want the field to be too far apart, and that's just something that's on them. That's not on me." Biles penalized in 2019 for being too skilled. International gymnastics officials should not be using Simone Biles to try to make a point. The International Gymnastics Federation lowered the value of a new element Biles planned to do at the World Championships in order to discourage other gymnasts from attempting routines that they are not physically capable of. That's correct. Penalize the reigning world and Olympics champion who is nearly fearful of increasing challenge for the carelessness of others. Am I in a league of my own? Yes, but that doesn't mean you can't credit me for what I'm doing, Biles told NBC after she learned of the decision made to drop her score purposely. She continued, "They keep asking us to do more difficult things and to give more artistry, give harder skills," she added. "So we do, and then they don't credit it, and I don't think that's fair. Every gymnastics element is given a letter that corresponds to a numerical value. A tenth of a point is worth an A skill, and each letter in the alphabet after that is worth another tenth. A D skill is worth 4/10 of a point, while a J talent is worth a whole point." At Worlds, Biles demonstrated two new skills, a triple twisting double somersault on the floor exercise and a double twisting double somersault dismount off the balance beam. The triple double was given a J rating, but the double double was merely given an H. It was clear to everyone that Biles was being unfairly disadvantaged simply for being more talented, essentially in a league of her own. The Women's Technical Committee, the WTC, issued a statement Friday outlining their reasoning in the wake of considerable criticism of its decision, stating, in assigning values to the new elements, the WTC takes into consideration many different aspects: the risk, the safety of the gymnast, and the technical direction of the discipline, it said. There is added risk in landing of double saltos for beam dismounts with or without twists, including a potential landing on the neck, reinforcing there are many examples where decisions have been made to protect the gymnast and preserve the direction of the discipline. Worst of all, the Federation has neglected the tools at its disposal to rein in irresponsible inclinations. There is an execution score in addition to the difficulty score, which is the total value of all the elements in a routine. If a gymnast insists on attempting a skill that he or she has no business doing, some of you vaulters, you know who you are, slam them with an E. The wonderful irony is that when it comes to raising her difficulties, Biles is quite cautious. She played around with the new techniques she's doing at Worlds long before she contemplated incorporating them into a routine. Even if she warmed up to the notion, it took her months, if not years, to decide the skill was suitable for competition. Abuse controversy. Simone Biles is one of the most accomplished athletes of our generation. She is the most decorated gymnast of all time, male or female. Her name has been given to a number of gymnastic movements. Her brilliance is the ability to blow her own head at times. Simone Biles is the latest athlete to accuse former USA Gymnastics team Dr. Larry Nassar of sexual misconduct. In a message released on Twitter on Monday, Biles, who lit up the Rio 2016 Olympics by winning 4 gold medals, revealed the harassment. "Most of you know me as a happy, giggly, and energetic girl," she wrote, "but lately I felt a bit broken broke it, and the more I try to shut off the voice in my head, the louder it screams. She continued, I am not afraid to tell my story anymore. I too am one of the many survivors that was sexually abused by Larry Nassar. Please believe me when I say it was a lot harder to first speak those words out loud than it is now to put them on paper. There are many reasons that I have been reluctant to share my story, but I know now it is not my fault. Nassar, a longtime physician for the U.S. women's gymnastics team who has been accused of sexually abusing more than 140 women and girls under the guise of medical treatment, pleaded guilty to 7 counts of criminal sexual conduct in a Michigan court last year and is awaiting sentencing. In a separate case involving child abuse photographs, he was sentenced to 60 years in federal prison. Allie Raisman, Gabby Douglas, and Michaela Maroney, all decorated U.S. Olympians, are among others who claim Nassar assaulted them. Nassar allegedly abused Maroney every time I saw him, according to Maroney. She told NBC Savannah Guthrie in an April Dateline interview that it amounted to hundreds of times. The majority, though, were not well-known competitors. Gymnasts, dancers, and volleyball players were among the pupils and young female athletes. They trusted Nassar because of his reputation as a well-connected and brilliant doctor. It also helped them maintain their anonymity. The ongoing investigation into the Nassar case comes amid a greater outpouring of stories of sexual assault and harassment in various settings, from Hollywood to hotel rooms, and the failure or complicity of those in positions of authority in protecting perpetrators. Nassar trained at the highest level with some of the best gymnasts in the world. He began working as an athletic trainer for USA Gymnastics, the regulatory body that chooses Olympic teams, in 1986. He attended Michigan State University for medical school and joined USA Gymnastics as the lead medical coordinator in 1996. He was photographed close to American gymnast Carrie Strug following her memorable ankle injury during the 1996 Olympics, and he also attended the Games in Sydney in 2000, Beijing in 2008, and London in 2012. Nassar then unexpectedly retired from USA Gymnastics in September 2015 with little fanfare. He had resigned as main medical coordinator but had planned to continue as the team doctor for the 2016 Olympics. A year later, a slew of sexual assault charges surfaced, revealing why. Biles talked more about coming to terms with Nassar's abuse and the attempts by the USAG and the USOPC to cover it up in an interview for Vogue's August 2020 issue. It didn't feel like real life. When Biles first learned of Larry Nassar's abuse, she told interviewer Abby Aguirre. She describes being reluctant to discuss the situation with her family and experiencing spells of anxiousness for no apparent reason. Her mental health began to deteriorate once she moved out of her parents' home. Biles admitted, I was very depressed, Biles said. At one point, I slept so much because, for me, it was the closest thing to death without harming myself. It was an escape from all of my thoughts, from the world, from what I was dealing with. It was a really dark time. And there you have it, some of the most controversial moments in Simone Biles' career so far. We would love to hear your thoughts down in the comments below. If you enjoyed today's video, don't forget to like and subscribe so you never miss any of our new and upcoming content. Thanks for watching.